on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen? Filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights. Making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen? Filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. Stay bearded, stay filling. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay filling. It's BV, it's BV, BV, it's BV,
Yeah.
it's BV, it's BV, it's
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. Hey, yo. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's
Hello,
the
hello.
heart of a villain.
No,
It's
that's
the
not
heart
it
of a
either.
villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's
Well,
the
let's
heart
see.
of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning.
Testing
It's
1,
the
2.
heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
heart. It's the heart. It's the heart.
Sounds like our microphones aren't up tonight, and that's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Hopefully everybody here can hear me okay, because I can't hear much of anything coming through the microphone or through the headset. So I'm just going to take this thing off because it's really annoying. Say, hopefully anybody can hear me. If anybody's here live with us tonight, give me a thumbs up. Just let me know you are hearing me okay. But hey, this is the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. Guys, it is already episode 202. You are here on a Friday night, January 19th, 2024, for episode 202. And we say good day down in Australia as well. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Guys, oh man, it's already, hey, don't give it away. Don't give it away. What's happening? You're a few hours ahead of us, I think, down there in Australia. Yeah. So if there's anything fancy that happens in history, don't tell us. Let us be surprised. Guys, tonight's going to be an interesting one because, well, you know, I got to stop saying that because I say that a lot. I say tonight's going to be an interesting one, right? I think I say that every week. Tonight's going to be interesting. You know what? Scratch that. Tonight's really not going to be that much of an interesting one. How's that? How's that for you? Let everybody down a little bit. No specific plans for tonight because, as a matter of fact, up until about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, I wasn't sure I was going to be doing a show tonight. And so this is going to test me on a couple of different things, a couple of different ways. It's going to test me on, am I going to stick to the mindset and stick to what it was that I said I was going to do a couple weeks ago when I talked about how I was going to be looking at this show this year, how I was going to be looking at developing episodes, and if something's there, it's not. So we'll get into that in just a second. But so let's see. We'll see how much stick-to-itiveness I have to stay up with my plan. But other than that, guys, it's this has been one of those. It's been a crazy kind of week, and I'm not exactly sure where to start with it because it's funny. As many of you guys know, I recently went back into the working world after being a stay-at-home dad for darn near, well, over 6.5 years. And the funny thing is, when you do that and you become, when you're stay-at-home dad and you're doing the carpooling and you're doing the stuff around the house and you're doing you get set in your ways, you get set in this routine, and you know where your free time is, you know where you're when it's time to get to do this and do that. And uh, it's it's been one fun ride over these last 6+ years to do that. I've been very blessed that that's the case. And now that I'm back to work, it feels weird now. A couple weeks now under my belt doing this work. And even though some of it is remote from home that I'm doing, it still is a time consuming thing because now, even though the times when I'm home doing the remote stuff, I still can't do the things here at home that I would normally do. I can't, the time isn't there now that my youngest daughter is back in school to take her to school and pick her up. I can't do that now. So now it's been a little transition for her because now it's the bus and all sorts of stuff going on. And I know for most people, this is like, so what? This is everyday life for us. I totally get it. But anytime your life is disrupted from what you're normally used to, it's a change. It really is. It's a change. And so because of that, it impacts other parts of your life as well, or my life as well, because then those free moments that you thought you had to work on a show, work on the podcast episode, who are you going to talk to this week? What are you going to talk about? Suddenly all of those times when you would normally be thinking about that while you're doing laundry or while you're cleaning up something, and your mind can be working, randomly thinking about things. Now those moments of random thinkiness aren't there anymore. Those moments are busy thinking of stuff you have to be thinking of for work. And I know I'm not telling anybody anything that you don't already know. Everybody that has been working, 40 hours a week or more, 50, 60 hours a week, and still trying to do all the other good things and that you do, and still trying to get to villain events and still trying to do stuff for your chapters. I get it. I get it. I've been very lucky over these last 6 years that this is the life I've lived. And it's been an interesting transition for old BP. So part of that, where that comes into play, and why that's actually even why I needed to mention that, is because this is how you end up with a night like tonight, episode 202, where it's just kind of ho hum, and you have a couple of things that you can talk about, and that's about it. So how is this going to challenge me based off of something I said earlier in the year? Well, if you recall, at the beginning of the year, I said that I'm going to worry less about trying to make each one of these episodes an hour, or at least they're about an hour. I'm going to worry less about the fact that if one episode ends up being 15 to 20 minutes, then that's great. That's all that episode needs to be. And I don't have to push it. I don't need to fret about it. I don't need to worry about it, is what I said. And so this will be the first time that I try and actually see if I can live up to those words that I set myself, that goal that I set for myself earlier in the year. Because when you just don't know, you go into the show, and this is what we do here. This is why I'm here. Is that I feel like if I'm not here, if the show doesn't exist for a week, I hear about it from people, and it doesn't matter what I'm saying or anything. Sometimes it just, if it doesn't exist, if you don't have an episode, people reach out. Hey, where did I miss something? What was up? And so even on random nights like tonight, random days like here we are, the January 19th, 2024, episode 202, with absolutely no direction at all. None. We don't know. We don't know. So that's why we end up where we're at tonight. So we'll see what kind of a test this gives us tonight. But hey, let's get into a couple things here. I want to give a shout out to a few people here that are in the comments section live with us. And yeah, Fiery says, good day from sunny Australia. I should even try to speak with accents anymore. It fails me all the time miserably. How you doing? Good to see you down south there. He says, we say good day. Yep, they did it again. Tried to speak in a weird tongue. Buddy, how you doing? Good to see you here. Hey, buddy, pay attention for me, if you don't mind, to the well, I'll get into that later. Maybe I'll just reach back out to you later, off air. That sounds good to me. He says, we hear you. I was checking if you remember the beginning. I wasn't sure if I could hear myself. So good to see you. And hey, Rob is here hanging out with us as well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, if you don't mind, Rob, I'm going to give a shout out to old Rob here, because he posted something on his YouTube page, his YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel as well. And I want you guys to all go over there and check that thing out on YouTube. But Rob, while you're here live, if you don't mind, in the comments section, in the live comment section, the chat section, if you could link your YouTube page, please. I would love for you to do that. The reason I'm doing that is because I want people either listening to this on a regular podcast platform. You can go back and you can find this episode, and you hear me talking about it. Go to episode 202, go into the comments, see if you can get the link that he's going to hopefully put in there to his YouTube channel. Why? Because this is a man who does a lot of videography, a lot of photography, and much of it is about bearded villains, but other parts of it are about something else completely. Just travel, peace, calm, nature. And especially this week, he put something out, and I love it. Okay, he says I can't, but I'll try and see if I can do it while we're here live. Maybe I can find it and do it. But he posted something. I don't know how many people out here in the world watch their TV streaming through YouTube TV. And I'm not sure if other channels do it as well. But on YouTube TV, instead of occasional commercials, they will pop in some kind of a nature landscape kind of Zen thing. A lot of times it's a video of something very calming, and the sound is very calming, and it plays for anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds sometimes. And it'll display some words up there that say, enjoy the calm or whatever else. They do that. It's nice, whatever. But it never even, you don't even think about it, because it's just part of your daily life. If you're watching YouTube TV, occasionally it pops on. Well, he did a video through his YouTube channel a couple days ago, I think it was now. And I just sat and looked. It was so simple. It's a video with water flowing and all sorts of nature sounds around. And I'm telling you what, I sat there and I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, it was better, in my opinion, better than any of these Zen things that have popped up on YouTube TV as a commercial. And it was so much that I walked across the room and I showed my wife. I was like, "Can you check this out? This looks like it belongs up on the big screen." So once again, Rob, you killed it. Awesome stuff. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do. And it's always very interesting to see the stuff that Rob comes up with, video, or if you can, Rob, if you can put the at least the name, can you put the name of your YouTube channel on there? I believe I already know what it is. Rob on the Road. I think I found it. But let's see if I can find this. Was it a short you made? Yes, it was indeed. It was a short. He says, I have, oh, how cool is that? Rob says, there are a few videos like that, varying lengths. Great. Awesome. Okay, well, I think I found it. And so I am going to, while I'm here, I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to come back into my channel here, The Heart of a Villain, come into the episode, and see if we can maybe muster in a link here. Hopefully that worked. Very cool stuff. I like to share stuff when I can of other guys that are doing some really creative work out there, some really cool things. So it's there in the comment section. Go out there, check it out. Rob on the Road is the name of the channel. Rob on the Road, and he's got all sorts of villain stuff and just a wide variety of cool stuff. Very cool follow. Got to get out there and get subscribed to that too. It's not like he posts super regularly in there, but when he does, it's something you want to see. So very cool stuff, Rob. Thank you so much. Hey, yes, exactly. So the plan originally was, the hope anyway, that somewhere on this cold night, some people would be wanting to jump in and just have a chat about something if they wanted to, and maybe come on live if they had something they wanted to discuss. And but knowing the people that are in here live that I can see anyway, I don't know if that's something that these guys would be interested in, and that's totally cool. I get that. That's totally fine. And if anybody wants to, they can give me a shout and in the comment section, and I can bring them in here live, and we'll just have a fun time. Have a fun time. But let's do this. I just want to quickly review last week. If you did not pay attention to last week's episode, and yes, this is just me killing a little bit of time, but I want to point you to episode 201 if you did not check that one out already, because that was a lot of fun. And ironically, I was planning on talking, we were talking just a few minutes ago about, time getting away from you and not having the time that you wanted to do the things that you wanted to do in a given week. Last week, I planned on, after last week's episode, cutting and splicing a few of the little comments and the segments of some of the conversations that we had during the show into a little short or something like that to post by itself. I still plan on doing that. I started doing some chopping of some sections. I think it was on Sunday of last week that I did that. Just didn't get a chance to finalize what I wanted to post it. So I plan to hopefully do that in the next week. But go back over there and check it out, because we had some really fun discussions on a couple of different things. One is recognizing that there is a huge importance put on living in the moment and living in those moments when you are there at a BV event, when you're meeting your brothers, sometimes for the first time, sometimes spending time with with brothers that you've known for months and weeks and years, but taking the time to recognize those moments for what they are, giving yourself the freedom to sit down and talk and have those meaningful, deep conversations. And then also, especially when it's somebody that you have one of those kind of conversations with that you want to remember, do yourself a favor and take a quick photo of the two of you together, or the three of you together, however many there are, because at some point in life, it may turn up to be a really cool memory for you, and it might strike a chord with you, and be something that is a flashpoint for you in your life, and you remember this conversation. And life is so short; we don't know, as we discussed last week. Life is so short; we don't know, when is going to be the last time that we're going to be able to talk to somebody. because our brotherhood is so big and varied, and we don't get to travel everywhere all the time. And some of our brothers we only get to see once a year, or even less than that. And so you want to cherish those memories and spend and create those memories with the people when you're there in the moment, for sure. And the other thing too, we also touched on really briefly, was having discussions about um, making those memories something tangible that you can come back to. And so I just want to just remind you to go back, check out episode 201 if you can, if you have some time, and put it on in the background, the audio form. The video part probably not the best, but get out there and just while you're doing some stuff around the house, around the shop, around the driving in the car, throw on episode 201 and see if anything strikes a chord with you for sure. Mr. Ramsey's in the house tonight. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you here. He just says BP. It's like a formal greeting. How you doing? Good to see you here. Hope everything is well with you. Um, Real quick, I do want to go over something I have done in the past with the show, and we haven't done it for a few weeks, but I've decided to kind of change up how I'm doing it here with the show than considering what we've done in the past. And as many of you guys know, we've talked here on the show before about the importance of being available and recognizing and being there for other brothers and other clubs as well. This big bearded world that we live in, yes, we are a part of Bearded Villains, but there's some other really, really great men out there, and in some clubs, women that are a part of this beardy community. And so I have made a push. I know last year we've spoken with several people and tried to get just to remind our guys out there that Bearded Villains, great, perfect, be a part of this brotherhood, make it everything you can, but don't do it at the expense of shoving other people in the bearding community out and having some sort of a air of superiority or anything like that. This is a really great bearding community that's out there, and I would love to see more Bearded Villains at other clubs' events, and they are all over the place. So one of the changes that I've decided to do within the show this year, as we rounded out and came through episode 200, many of you guys know that I would play a little something something, and I would come on with the calendar of events. And the calendar of events for the longest time was specific just to Bearded Villain events. And that was all fine and well, but it kind of went against what it was that I was trying to say when I said that we need to get out there and support other clubs. And I would just kind of merely mention that there was this thing out there called the Beard Calendar. And the Beard Calendar was put together by a couple of really good guys, one of which was one of our judges at our event earlier this year. You've heard me talking about this before, and I want to just say that what I'm going to do moving forward is I'm not going to do a calendar of events specific to BV. I'm going to bring up a share screen and remind us and talk just real quickly, and just so the audio files that are listening just on audio platforms will hear it, but to just bring in the actual beard calendar that they created, because they created a great thing. And I'm a huge proponent of giving other people credit when credit is due, and it is. But the amount of work that has to go into what these guys do, anybody that has an event that's a bearded community event just reaches out to them and says, hey, I've got an event here, and they throw it on the calendar. All the details that they can gather with it, and they put it on there. And to keep this thing up it's a task for sure, but they do it. And so it makes no sense for me to double up on that and just pick out or just, announce on this show just our Bearded Villain events, because like I said, I want us to be out there supporting other beard clubs as well, not just the Bearded Villains. And I know that's not always possible. The Bearded Villains here, as I've always said, the Bearded Villains are such a big club that because it's this huge worldwide thing, and you only have so many weekends a year that you can go support, right? It's not something that a lot of people can go every single weekend to go to a bearded community event. So you're limited. And as I've said before, I think one of the issues is that there are so many bearded villain events that are going on worldwide because the club has gotten so big that most of the guys seem to tend to veer toward those because they want to see as many villains as they can. And so they want to go support the bearded villain events. And much in the same way, as I've said before, that the Bearded Villains are a club that have all these different events. There are all these smaller beard clubs that may only be a statewide club. There may only be one chapter of it, but they go out there in much the same way that we support ourselves. They go out and support each other. And so I would just love to see more of that happen. So to that, I'm just going to bring in here the beard calendar real quick. And all you got to do is go out to beardcalendar.com, beardcalendar.com, and check this out, guys. It has everything you need to scroll through. We just scroll right through. So coming up, beard competitions on the 20th. That's going to be this weekend, right? LaGrange, Texas. I've heard big things about this place, about this event. Third annual You Matter Beard and Mustache Competition. If you're down in Texas, go check this thing out, please. You guys have a bunch of chapters down in Texas. Go check this thing out. Anywhere near LaGrange, go check. I know it's a big state and it takes a few hours to get place to place, but if you're near LaGrange, go check this thing out because there are guys that travel from the Midwest from some of these beard clubs down to LaGrange, Texas to go to this thing. I've heard them talking about it. Third annual You Matter beard and mustache competition on the 20th. Check out this on the beard calendar. They've got event details, everything going on. $20 for entry fee. Also in Immokalee, I think it is Immokalee, Florida. The fourth Rockabilly Florida beard and mustache competition is also this weekend. If you're anywhere near Seattle, pay attention for this. The third annual Viking beard competition is going on in Seattle. It's at the Skull Beard Hall on the 26th. On the 27th in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Oak City Beard Showdown at 12 p.m. Syracuse, New York. See how wide and varied this thing is? This is something that we might want to pay attention to, right? That's a great site. Empire State Villains Beard Competition on the 27th of January. Empire State. Go check the boys out at the Buried Acorn Brewery, right? The 27th. We get into February. This thing is loaded with events, as you can see, not just Bearded Villain events. We've got events, and I'm not going to, I just want to point you in the direction. You can go check these out. But if you're interested in going to a bearded event to help out the bearding community and the charity events that they do, you have so many opportunities. February 2nd, February 3rd, February 17th, February 18th, February 24th, and then we go into March 2nd. There's several events. There's one in Dayton, Ohio. There's one in Louisiana. There's one in Nashville, Tennessee. Most of us know that because it's Nash Vegas. On the 9th, they're in Birmingham, Alabama. They're all over the place, guys. So it doesn't matter how big or small your chapter is. Somewhere within a couple of hours drive, there's an event out there that you can go to. I don't care what kind of obscure location you live in. At least a couple of times a year, within a couple of hours drive, there's something that you can go to attend. Corpus Christi, Texas. We're still in March. Greensboro, North Carolina. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wichita, Kansas. Plymouth, Indiana in April. Richmond, Virginia. So that's DSV 24. So go check this thing out. It's very simple to find. Go to the beardcalendar.com. It's all it is. Beardcalendar.com, guys. Go check this thing out. I think you will really be happy that you did, for sure. All right. So we've been trudging along here, and I'm not going to make this thing last any longer than we need to. I'm going to give a big shout out here to Rob for, again, he always adds in some insight, and I love it. What's his insight here? There appeared to be a rather sad and self-destructive toxic attitude toward other beard clubs. There is no need for it. Everyone is trying to do good at the end of the day. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, that. 100%. And the funny thing is that, we whether you guys know this now, we're the heart of a villain. So we primarily support the bearded villain community. Yes. But whether we like it or not, whether you know it or not, there is an image out there in the rest of the bearding community that the bearded villains don't like to play nice. That the bearded villains don't like to, we are our own thing and we don't get along. We prefer to stay by ourselves. We don't want to be a part of your bearding community. That kind of a thing. And it's palpable, guys. You can feel it when you go to some of these other events where there's multiple beard clubs at. You can see it. You can see it. I went to one last year where there was a couple of us bearded villains from our chapter, and we went down into basically the southern central Indiana area, and it was really fun to be around other beard clubs, but at the same time, there was a feeling of standoffishness when we first approached. I know when I would go out and talk to people, when I would first approach people, until they got to know me, there was a look in some people's eyes, like, why is this bearded villain coming over here? They don't ever come. They don't ever talk to us. And we have to get out there and break down these doors, break down these huge walls that are up in front of us that other people perceive. Because what if the perception is that it's there, it's there. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to agree with it or not, it's there. You can feel it when you go to these events. And it's crazy. It's crazy because there's no need for it at all. No need for it at all. It's like look at the professional sports teams, right? You're a member of this team, this XY team, and you have this other team over here, and they're the rival team, right? But they're all in the same league. And what happens at the end of take the NFL for example? At the end of an NFL game, what happens? You have players coming together to congratulate each other, shake their hand. Some get down in a prayer circle and kneel in the middle of the field. Some just sit there and exchange jerseys. Some just talk because it's the first time in several months that two friends who are on opposing teams that may not like each other, but that there's the friendship there. It's lasting. It goes beyond what patch is on your shirt. It goes beyond the helmet that they wear. So that's what I would like for us to do. I would like for us to get out there and recognize and pay attention and welcome other clubs. Get them to come to your event if you can, but it's got to start somewhere. And where it has to start is with you. We have to go out there and support them. We can't wait for them. We can't just sit back and say, oh, you need to come support us. Why? Why would they? In many cases, some of these beard clubs have been around, or these chapters of some of these beard clubs have been around longer than many of our chapters have been around. So why? Why would they come support you? And I got to tell you, the bearded community is huge. It is a huge club. The community itself, if you think of it as a club, the community itself is enormous. And the amount of charity work that is done is absolutely stunning. But you're doing yourself and your club and your charity a disservice. And all these other charities a disservice. If you can't find it in your heart and you can't find your way to drive just a couple hours, and sometimes it's not even that. And sometimes you just have to look. That's the hard part. You'd have to sometimes go out of your way and look. What might be in my area? Well, boom, right there. thebeardcalendar.com. They do the work for you guys. They do the work for you. It's there. So I didn't really plan on harping on thebeardcalendar.com tonight and really pushing that, but this is one of these conversations that just kind of develops, right? Didn't plan on doing this tonight. Didn't plan on talking in this way tonight, but it is a passionate subject of mine because I hate to see the Bearded Villains as a club thought poorly of in the bearded villain community in the bearding community because so many of our guys choose to segregate themselves. They and it's not just that they choose to not go or attend or support other clubs' events. I've seen it where okay, you might go to their event, but then you don't take you don't take that extra step to go out and mingle. You don't take that extra step to go out and talk to these people. Show them that you're human. Show them that you support them. You support their efforts. Learn a little bit about them. Some really cool people out there. Take the time to do it. It ain't all about you. I've seen it where bearded villains go to other clubs' events, and all they do the entire night is hang out in a little huddle of bearded villains, right? And it's sad. You can see it, and it's sad. You can always pick it out. You look around a crowded room of bearded people at a beard competition. If you know there's bearded villains there, 99% of the time, at least from my experience, sadly enough, you can look around that room and go, oh, there they are over there. Well, where are they from? Well, it doesn't matter because all the bearded villains hang out together. They're over there. I went out of my way last year to not hang around with the brothers from my chapter that were at this event with me. I told them in advance, you may only see me for 10 minutes tonight because I want to go talk. I want to walk around and talk to other people. So I encourage you guys to do that. I encourage you guys, check out thebeardcalendar.com. Find a way to get out there and support, even if you're all by yourself. They ain't going to hurt you. Nobody's going to string you up. You can be the only bearded villain at another event. I've been there. I've done that. It's a cool thing. And eventually, gradually, it'll take a little bit of time, but there are chapters of bearded villains that are out there that have already broken those barriers down. There are other beard clubs that are out there that they talk about this bearded villain chapter. They are solid. They support everything. You want to do something cool, go see them. You want to help out, go see them. Don't hesitate to reach out to that bearded villain chapter. And they'll recognize that there's a separation between that chapter and the other bearded villain chapters. I hate to see that. I would love for other bearded villain chapters to be thought of in the exact same way that those are. So there's your homework. There's your homework for 2024. Get out there and support other clubs. Get out there and support bearded villains, but all the other clubs that are doing charity work. If there's clubs out there that are doing piss all, who cares? And they're not doing charity work, fine. You don't need to go out and spend your time supporting them. But if they're out there trying to make a difference in the world the same way that we are, boy, pretty sad. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. Buddy, yeah. Buddy says, hell yeah, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Come on down. Yep. And you know what's funny? This is beardcalendar.com. It's not bearded villains specific, but they got them in there. Absolutely. Rob says beard before beard club. Yep. That's what we need to be about. You betcha. All right, guys. Well, so I've done my due diligence on that. I've left with an uplifting message for the night. I've reminded you guys to get out there and change the world in some way, shape, or form, right? Get out there to beardcalendar.com. Find a way to go out there and support other clubs. In addition to, I'm not saying in lieu of, right? In lieu of, but in addition to other Bearded Villain chapters. You're going to be out there doing it anyway. Go support. Go support. You might learn something. You might learn something. One of the things that we as Bearded Villains have to keep in mind is we have guidelines that are different from other beard clubs. And other beard clubs allow facial hair in different configurations than we do. So they may not be able to be a bearded villain just because of that, even if they wanted to be. And they found a club that fits them and they love. And just because they're a part of a different beard club doesn't mean that they're a different kind of person. So give yourself the time. Go out of your way. Get out of your comfort zone. We get hemmed in these things, right? We sit in our little comfort zone and we go and we hang out in our little tribes, right? In our little huddles of bearded villains at these events. Just don't. Go to these events. Get out there and talk to people. They're doing the same thing you are. They just wear a different patch on their shirt. That's all I can say to that. So, hey, I didn't really have much else to do tonight, guys. I don't have a guest, and nobody's antsy to jump on live, and that's fine. Sometimes it's a difficult thing to do, and we have video issues sometimes, and we'll just leave it at that. But I'm going to work really hard for you guys, and I'm going to continue to work hard and try to give you good content so that it's something that you want to listen to, so that it's, even if there's some sort of off-the-cuff conversation or topic that just evolves naturally like tonight did. I completely figured that this episode tonight, when I pushed the start button tonight, that we were going to be lasting maybe about 15, 20 minutes, and I was completely fine with that. We're not anywhere near our hour, and I'm fine with that too. I said I would, and I'm going to keep myself to my word on that. But I'm going to keep working hard for you guys. Try and talk to the people that you want me to talk to. Again, I asked you at the beginning of the year, I've had some people reach out to me and say, you need to talk to this person for Villain Spotlight or something like that, like I wanted to do. And I've got a list forming of these people that over the coming weeks and months, I'll be reaching out to try and do some kind of an interview setting like that. And there'll be changes as the coming weeks and months go on, formatting within the show. So I hope you guys are ready and excited to come along for the ride, and we're going to push through. We're at 202 right now. I don't see an end. I can't even see the end of the tunnel right now. I'm just looking forward to the journey. So guys, hey, stay with me, come along for the ride. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. It's snowy here. I got over 2 feet of snow on the ground, so no idea where it's going to go, how long it's going to be here, and how much more we're going to get. So I'm going to go hunker down because I'm going to have to do some snow blowing tomorrow for sure. So, guys, hey, I'm going to put my headphones back on so I can hear the music a little bit, see what kind of volume I got. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up episode 202. Remember to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys, remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. But that means you need to go and you need to talk. Do that for yourself. Hey, guys, take care. Until next week for episode 203, we're going to be back here again. No idea what we're going to do, but it's going to be fun. Until then, take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard.